This is match 2 with Kaheera kitties. We are on the play here. We name Kaheera as our companion, they name Luris as theirs. Had to mulligan to 6 and keep a hand without white mana. White being the more prominent color in the deck as a whole, that's a little scary. But we can cast everything in our hand. Thorn of Amethyst might be good. Pride Sovereign and Kaheera definitely should be. The Inquisition to take the Thorn. We draw a Grazer, which doesn't really help. Play the Pride Sovereign, and if we draw white mana next turn, we can play Kaheera and then attack and exert the Pride Sovereign. If we draw white mana before long, we should be okay. Kaheera gets countered here, and we just have to attack for 2. Our opponent plays a Delver of Secrets. Really a cool card. I'm glad that they're starting to see a little bit more play in Modern again. They do go well with Luris. Opponent opts on the end step, untops, and reveals an opt with the Delver of Secrets. And then plays a Sprite Dragon. Would take the 3 here rather than jump. Grazers should be able to block the Sprite Dragon for a while, so they're good to keep around. Make kittens on the end step and then take up the vial. We just draw a land, so we'll crack the canopy, draw another land, and attack with the kittens, which was definitely wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I looked at the graveyard and forgot that they had cast the opt on my end step. But we do lose a kitten in that combat. They play a bauble to grow the dragons. I just block the smaller one, thinking the Grazer will live and the dragons will be bigger next turn, so jumping them then would be more important. Ghost Courting 2 of their lands here, just to kind of check and see if they are running a small number of basics. Most Delver decks don't run that many. And that'll be helpful information for next game, because we do run 4 Path and 4 Ghost Quarter. They attack with everything. We block both dragons. And they can Snapcaster the opt. We lose both our Grazers. And I don't think there's really any way we can win from here. We do exert the Pride Sovereign on the end step, activate the vial for no real reason, and then we'll just attack with the lifelinking kittens. If we're trying to survive, we probably should have kept 1 back to block the Snapcaster, but I don't really think it mattered. They play Luris, and then Bauble to trigger the Prowess, and they attack with everything and put us to -1. For sideboarding in this matchup, we have my favorite sideboard card, Choke. I run 3 copies. Of course, they all come in, because almost every land in their deck should be an island, if not every land. I also bring in 3 Rest in Peace, and probably the Relic of Progenitus. Yeah, Relic came in. I actually took out the Thorns of Amethyst, 3 Pride Mages, King of the Pride, a Mana Tithe. Oh, all 3 Mana Tithes came out. Probably because we're on the play. But while Thorns are pretty good here, I think that the other Mana Denial cards are better, and we still need to hit a critical mass of creatures. We mulligan to 6 again, but this hand is looking a lot better. A Vial, 2 Arbiters, the Winds of Abandon, and Winds should be good for the Delvers or for Luris. Vial goes up. We draw Rest in Peace, which is another great card for the matchup. Play Arbiter this turn in case they have fetch lands, and we can kind of lock them out of their mana. Rest in Peace would be good to get down pretty quickly, but they Thoughtseize away the Winds of Abandon. Vial goes to 2. We play a land, Rest in Peace, and keep the Arbiter on the Vial, which we'll put in on the end step or in response to a fetch. Attack them down to 14. The Delvers do not flip. They play a tap land and pass, and we'll just vial in the other Arbiter. The vial does go to 3 here. Most of the important creatures in our deck are 3 mana, so that's where it tends to rest. Kaheera runs into another mana leak, and we attack with Arbiters. A little worried at this point, because they are going to have 3 cards in hand. Path is mostly here for Luris, I think. But they are a removal heavy deck, and if they can deal with our Arbiters, we could be in trouble before long. Crack the Relic just to draw a card since we already have the rest in peace. Path the Luris, attack for 4 again. And then I will play the land because if I draw another land, I can start activating Gavany next turn. Both Delvers flip to a Mishra's Bauble, and opponent passes back. The 2 Delvers with 3 power will stop us from attacking this turn unless we draw a Lord. We draw a land. If we wait till next turn to attack, we can grow the Arbiters large enough to survive Delvers, but opponent is drawing cards, so I am a little worried at this point. They attack with the Sprite Dragon. Hopefully they'll draw cards that are dependent on the graveyard. We activate Gavany, taking the Arbiters to 3. Best draw here would be King of the Pride, as it would make the Arbiters 6 power, but we draw a Vial. So we'll just attack and keep Gavany ready. We will lose that Arbiter, but it takes both Delvers with it, so I think that's probably fine. And the opponent goes to 2. They play a Grim Lavamancer and another Delver. Neither is particularly threatening since they are having to jump block. Collected Company is an excellent draw here. Delver does not flip. Sprite Dragon hits us. I'm not sure if we were afraid of a counterspell on the end step or if that was a misclick. Either way, we are in a pretty commanding position. They trump with a Delver. We pass back. They untap, Fatal Push the Arbiter, growing the Sprite Dragon, and they attack. It is notable that they only have about 4.5 minutes left on the clock at this point. So if we do go to game 3, it's going to be very rough for them to catch up. We get a Pride Sovereign and Arbiter on the Coco, which is enough for them to concede. Game 3, sideboard did not change. And opponent is on the play. This hand doesn't really have any mana acceleration, but the path for turn 1 is fine, even though it gives them a little extra mana. Temple Garden could be feigning Mana Tithe here since they did see it in game 1, I believe, but I think we're just trying to take as little damage as possible. Try and get to this Caracal as soon as we can. Here we just play an Arboreal Grazer and a Relic of Progenitus. The Grazer, of course, puts in a land for us. They exile the Opt to the Relic and fetch on the end step. They just find a Watery Grave. Scalding Tarn finds the Steam Vents, and they make a Sprite Dragon. And Collective Brutality, choosing all 3 modes, discarding 2 lands. I think that's them reading that they've only got 2 minutes left on the clock, and they're just trying to get in for as much damage as they possibly can quickly. The Grazer having reach is difficult for them, but we'll attack. But they play another Sprite Dragon, Fatal Push the Grazer so that they can keep attacking, which I think may have been wrong if they had more time on the clock, but given the time limit, I think that was the only play they had. Crack the relic in hopes of finding a land for the Mama Kitty, and we do. She's going to grow Kaheera to a 4/3 with lifelink, taking us back up to 11 life. And opponent concedes.